Any advice you have for a young teacher today?
Yes. It's important to know that education in itself is very rewarding, very rewarding. But it doesn't always come in a paycheck. If you're looking for like something huge monetarily, that may not be the career you're thinking of. But if you're looking for something that is intrinsically rewarding, something that's such a blessing, teaching's definitely for you. And we need to have more teachers who are really dedicated, not just trying to fill up a space and get paid for that, but to think about the little minds that you're affecting. You are like a physician and you are prescribing a certain educational path for the little mind you have while they're in your possession. They're like clay. A lot of clay comes molded already. Some you have to put a little more on the potter's wheel. And that can be such a blessing. It can be so rewarding. And you also need to know as a teacher, like I said earlier, you can't always walk in and be their friend. You're going to be their friend because you love them. Like a mother, we love our children, but you also have to have rules. There have to be consequences. There have to be, rewards. It's a change, but you have to come in knowing that. You cannot come in and try to be everybody's best friend. You've got to realize I'm the teacher. I have to take control of the class, and I want them to learn from me, but realize also that we as educators learn from our children, and you have to be loose enough to do that. Now, I did not wear my gorilla suit every day, I did keep it in the closet.
Can you explain the gorilla suit, please?
Gorilla suit means that I might ask you a question and say, Johnny, would you so-and-so and such and such? And Johnny might tell me to eat a big one. And I'm saying, well, whatever that means. So sometimes you say, Johnny, I need you to go so-and-so, and be firm about it. We don't touch our children unless it's a hug. We don't do anything that's anything that will make their self-esteem feel less. But you have to let them know, I'm in charge of this classroom. I have to take care of you. I have to make sure you're safe, and I have to make sure others around you are safe. And in order to do that, there are different ways you do it. And sometimes, as I say, you pull out your gorilla suit and you're not as friendly as you normally would be. But you know what? In the end, they respect the fact that when they come to your class, they feel safe. They feel protected. They don't have to worry about bullying. We had a strong anti-bullying policy at Harrison Park. And I definitely feel kids could grow that way with us. You learn better that way when you feel safe. So, friends sometime, gorilla suit sometime, a combination. Just be prepared. And be prepared to study yourselves. I mean, I realize we go to school, we get our education to come and teach the children. But you know what? Some of education has evolved so much. You have to do a lot more research just to learn about maybe the kids' neighborhoods, the kids' friends, things that are developing in a family, things you don't sit down and learn in a classroom. You have to be knowledgeable about to work with your students.
I heard a lot with that explanation. First, it sounds like part of teaching is somewhat like parenting.
Yes.
It sounds like you have to be very adaptable. You have to learn yourself, learn the children you're working with, the families you're supporting, and just be ready to evolve as things change, and always have a plan in your back pocket.
Always have an A, B, C, and D plan.
Awesome. And be able to roll with the changes and stay in your role as an educator.
True.
But be there also to nurture and comfort and support.
And that's I like that word. Nurturing is extremely important. It's extremely important. Some of these children come to you and have never had a hug in the day, ever. And I know that seems like impossible, but it's very true. It's not just about teaching what's in the books. You have to show compassion. You have to be a nurse when the nurse is not in the building to help you. You have to be a mentor. You have to be a mom. There are a lot of roles that take place, and it's very important.
I cannot imagine coming to school and not having had hugs. My family was very, very emotional, very warm and fuzzy, and very affectionate. And I was blessed that my teachers were the same way. I know there are different distancing procedures we have to take place now just because of attacks on appropriacy, and we don't want to have anything go awry with things to that regard. But there's still ways to show that you care about your students.
Absolutely.
And ways to let them know that you are there for them and that you love them. And so it sounds like that's a very important piece of educating.
It's extremely important. Like I said, when you know that there are consequences for some behaviors, there should also be rewards in place too. Ways to make the kids feel super about themselves and make them think that they have a super day ahead of them. And yes, you're not supposed to touch the children, and we make it a rule, wherever your swimming suit is, that's not a really appropriate touch. But I cannot imagine not shaking one of my students' hands, giving them a warm fuzzy on the back, and even hugging some of them. No, they don't sit on our laps or any of those things, but just to make the kids feel loved, because you don't know what some children go home to.
And I will say, in my experience with you as my mom, it really did a lot for me to have that start to the day that you mentioned. So, like I said, I was really fortunate to have great teachers once I got to school at every level in my experience. But I just felt reassured that no matter what was going to happen that day, it was going to be a good day. And I was a good person.
Yes.
Because I left home with that mindset of being invincible and feeling cared for. And so I just want to implore all parents out there that, I think there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of value to that. Be sure to let your kids know you love them all the time. But with a lot of challenges in school today, it's so important for them to go into that space, that learning environment, knowing that they are strong. They need that confidence and they need that support and love from parents. So thank you for that.
Parents realize also that your words do matter. The things we say to our children, those are just as important as if you're giving them a hug or a kiss. A child doesn't need to know you're bad. Any of those words, they cut and they hurt and they last with your children. And your language is important as well. If you don't want to hear your child saying certain things, then you should check the things that you're saying as well.
And not just the things you say to your children, but the things you say around them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So as we're looking to wrap up, just one more question. What, as you're thinking of your experiences working with early elementary students, what are some things they should be learning now? And what are things that parents can do with these kids at home?
I used to tell my preschool students' parents, you are their first teacher. You're the first teacher. They don't seem to think that, but you should teach your children to tie their shoes at home. You should teach your children to button and to zip. You should teach your children how to listen and how to speak. Those are simple things. Now, I feel that children should learn how to count 1 to 20 before they get in school. They should know their ABCs before they get in school. If they don't, moms, dads, this is what you need to work on. Reading. You have to have the ABCs before you can proceed into the reading.
Right.
It makes it a lot easier. Then ABCs, saying my student knows ABCs is not singing the song A, B, C, D, E. That's not knowing your ABC. That's knowing the song. Knowing your ABCs is if I put all the letters on a paper and tell you to find an F, you can do that without starting at the alphabet and going all the way through. You should be able to count. You should be working on addition problems if you have the older ones. First graders at kindergarten at this level do addition, subtraction, sorting, You can sort macaroni, you can sort buttons, you can sort everything at home. Find a bunch of things, put them together and have them sort them. Sorting, just putting them in groups. The socks go here, the shoes go here, the underpants go here. You can do that when you're doing laundry. There's a lot of things you can do, but one of my biggest things is talking to your child, speaking to them in complete sentences. When you're reading to the students or the child, track the words. So if you can say, here, this is the word the, this is the word see. Track your words. Tracking is just following along with your finger what you're reading to your students. Read to your child. That people don't realize how important that is, reading to the child, allowing the child to read to you. And as I said, having the full conversations. Any type of math, reading, anything STEM, we don't tend to put the science or technology or the engineering, math, and the arts. All those things you can do. Take your children out through the neighborhood. Point out things. Talk about the things you see. If you can't get to museums or other big places, use your neighborhood. Communicate. That's a huge thing.
Agreed. Sounds like a lot of nice things that families can do, you know, for cheap, free, just to make sure that their students are always learning, that they're growing, developing, which the development starts immediately, right?
Right away. When my children were in utero, I would sing and read to them. And they're not even here to even follow a word, but I would sing, I would read to them. I made up songs for them. There's all kinds of things that you can do as a parent to make sure your child continuously learns. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know, I'll get back to you, I'll find it out. That shows your child too that you are a forever learner as well.
And you're human.
Absolutely.
It's okay to not know everything all
Absolutely.
the time. Right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hopefully hopefully everyone can take something from our conversation today, and just appreciate you for all your years of service.
Thank you.
Of course, appreciate you for being my parent.
I love it.
And for inspiring me to do what I do every day, educating other folks.
And she does it well.
Well, thank you. Probably a little biased there, but we appreciate the endorsement. Okay, so thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Just a friendly reminder that we are here, Mosaic Masterminds is here to help educate and help partner with you and your students. Our tutors are highly recommended by many in the community, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and beyond. We have lots of experience between us. We have a lot of support that we can help to share with our community and with those in our broader community. We have expanded to virtual services, so we offer in-person and virtual sessions as well. We would love to be a part of your students' academic journey, so feel free to contact us. Our website is www.mosaicmasterminds.com. Thank you.